Hi everyone, and welcome to the Soul Illumination reading for the sign of Virgo. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. And that's exactly what we're going to be looking at here in today's reading, Virgo. We're going to be looking at what your soul most wants you to know at this time. Now, please keep in mind these readings are general, so only take what resonates. Also, I find that sometimes these messages can be bringing up a time or a situation from the past that is being asked to be brought back up for review, whether to apply a lesson learned there to now or just to readdress something that maybe needs to be resolved. So again, only take what resonates. Now we're going to jump right in here, Virgo. We have first the energy of you, what you're sitting with at this time, and we have the Queen of Cups. This is beautiful energy. This is the unconditionally loving mother. This is an individual who is focused on self-care, focused on nurturing what's in her cup, which she holds sacred, as you can see here. And what's in that cup? That is the cup that holds everything in her life that she needs, her actual needs, the dreams and hopes she needs to fulfill or wants to go out there, all the things in her life that connect her on an emotional level to her life experience. Now, it's a really beautiful, I'd say, energy for anyone to be sitting with because it really shows a lot of love to give, not only to the self, but also to those around you. Now, what your spirit or your soul is highlighting for you right now is the Five of Wands with the Six of Pentacles. So there seems like there's a little bit of conflict at this time around maintaining stability or a level of balance or equality in your day-to-day life experience. The Six of Pentacles is a sense of having everything kind of balanced out, meaning what you put in is what you feel that you're getting back. And it can also be vice versa. What you're getting back is you feel what you're putting in, meaning that it also teaches us that at any given time, the scales can be balanced either where we are the ones receiving from the individual here, or at another time in our life, we may be the one on the other side where we are actually being able to give. And that's what balances out the scales. So, but with the Five of Wands, this can be a card of conflict, chaos. It can even be a card of competition. But I get the feeling here with the Six of Pentacles that there's something in your day-to-day experience that might be changing. But it's great that you are sitting in a place of self-focus, if that makes sense with the Queen of Cups. There's a sense of almost kind of that things may be chaotic around you, but you are stable in your own security of what you can give as far as to take care of your own needs and what you can give to take care of the needs of those around you. And there's almost this like sense of kind of being in the eye of the storm. But there may be some conflict or shakeup around your physical experience, that there may be something changing, that maybe things might be feeling like they're maybe getting a little out of balance and might need to have a focus on shifting of that balance. Now, in your underlying energy over here, we have the Seven of Wands, which is underscored by the Seven of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. Now, the sevens generally have us kind of sit in a state of, I would say, can be reevaluation, or it can be in a state of asking ourselves a question. So the Seven of Wands really speaks to defending our position or defending how we're choosing to take action. And it can ask us, as we're standing here, kind of as you can see, defending yourself against others, to say, is it worth it for me to defend my position? Now, the Seven of Pentacles asks, is it worth it for me to continue to invest my time, energy, and money in towards something? It's a time of reevaluating what you have in the present moment in your physical experience. Basically summing up everything as is, not what you hope it to be, not what you are looking back in the past, maybe at one point you had loved the bush that you planted and the fruit that it bears. But now as you stand where you are today, you're looking at it going, I don't know if this is worth it for me at this point where I am in the present moment. Maybe I don't like that fruit anymore. Maybe I realize that I can't do anything with this fruit anymore. Maybe it's something where in the past I used to be able to barter, and I'm just using obviously a very base example here, but I used to be able to barter with it, but now it holds no value for me. And with the Knight of Swords coming in underneath all of this, there's a sense of, there was quick communication or a revelation, something that came in very quickly that forced you into this kind of state of looking at the things in your life from a different perspective, meaning looking at the aspects of your life to say, is this what I really want? Is this worth me continuing to defend my choice to invest my time and energy and money here? And that, I mean, this could be a myriad of things. The Knight of Swords could be somebody coming in with, it could be somebody at work saying, hey, we're going through a reorganization. There's going to be a change in focus. We're no longer going to be doing this anymore. We're now doing this. And you're realizing, well, wait a second. When I joined the company, I thought I was going to be doing this. And now I'm being told it's going to be something completely different. So is it worth it for me to continue to invest my time here and to defend staying with the company? Now it could also, and that could also be maybe like what's forcing you to look at here with the Five of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. That could be saying, well, shoot, I've always been the breadwinner, or I've always been the one to make a lot of money, and now I might have to change where I work, and that might shift the balance that for a while I might not be the breadwinner as I'm looking for a new job, or I might be in a place maybe where I was at the top in one workplace, but now I might have to go to the bottom and start again, and that might create competition in your life experience. But there's a sense with the Queen of Cups and you sitting with this energy that that whatever your choice is going to be making here based off of the information that came in rather quickly, that is going to be to your benefit because you're really looking out for yourself at this time and your emotional needs. Now, this could be also somebody coming in and saying, hey, I want to break up with you. It could be, and that could obviously change your day-to-day experience. This could be also a significant other saying, hey, I want to go back to work. Hey, I want to take off. I want to work less. This could be somebody coming in and saying, hey, I just found out I'm pregnant. It could be all kinds of things that come in with a rather quick piece of information that pushes us into this place of, wait a second, with that changing, what needs to change? How is this going to change my current experience at this time? And again, whatever this was, it is definitely changing your current experience, but let's dive in and we'll take a look a little bit more at what else is happening here for you. Now, this could be, and I'm just going to use an example that's kind of very close to my own heart because it is very much what I went through. This could be like a lot of people are kind of being faced with this right now, where maybe you were able to work from home for a lengthy period of time, let's say during, the last 3 years. And suddenly now your work is like, okay, everybody come back into the office. You can't work from home anymore. And that's the Knight of Swords coming in and saying, okay, well, the truth of the matter is you no longer have that flexibility. Now, let's say maybe you had changed your whole routine. Maybe you have kids at home and you love that flexibility of being able to be there, to pick them up from school, but then come right back and jump on the computer again, or you were able to maybe really enjoy, again, just a different structure to your life. And now your work says, okay, everybody has to come back into the office, and suddenly you're faced with a commute again and having to, not be there maybe for your family or your kids. And suddenly you're realizing, well, wait a second. Shoot, that's changing up my life experience, the balance I had created between my work, and this could be work-life balance. And suddenly now you're realizing, I don't know if I might have to reevaluate whether or not I want to continue to work for this company now that I have to go back in, or I might want to reevaluate. Maybe now it's time for me to step back and say, I'm going to have to be a stay-at-home parent for X amount of time, or one of us will have to be a stay-at-home parent, something along those lines. And, definitely I've been there. I've had that discussion with my romantic partner. Okay, so we have the Four of Wands. Yeah, there's something here around a foundation. Now, the Four of Wands is your main point of challenge. It's your block. Now, we're going to dive into the block. We're in the challenge. We'll dive into advice, and then we'll dive into what is the level of abundance or spiritual growth that wants to come in for you as you overcome this challenge. Okay, so we have the Five of Wands at the heart of your reading, which is mirroring what is being highlighted over here. So this is really what your soul is highlighting for you at this time. This can be change. The fives in general, so 5 as a number in numerology represents change. It can also represent chaos. It can represent competition. It can represent freedom through change. So there's a sense here of really seeing, I think, what causes a level of friction in your life at this time and whether or not it's healthy or unhealthy, meaning sometimes we do have to shake things up. We do have to kind of have that little bit of a chaotic moment where we say, you know what, this isn't working. So let's reevaluate our day to day and get things back where everybody feels like they're putting in their equal share. It can also be, though, too, where sometimes the shakeup here could be something, external to us, like having to go back into work, like having maybe work competition come into your life experience and kind of get in the mix. So it's really, you're being asked here, what feels like chaos to you? What feels like shaking things up? And how is that, and we'll get a little deeper into this, how is that affecting your own ability to really focus on self-care, to focus on meeting your own needs and the needs of others around you? Okay, so let's see here. So right after, so we have the Four of Wands and the Six of Cups. There's a sense here of a past foundation coming through. The Six of Cups is something from the past. It can be even making peace with the past. It can be a past person or relationship. And the Four of Wands can actually represent a marriage, or it can represent a foundation that was built, meaning that this could be a business that you built. This could be a marriage foundation. This could be even just a relationship foundation. This could be moving in with someone and sharing a home together. This could be getting to a certain level of stability and recognition, let's say, in a field of work or a course of study. But there's something here around a relationship that's tied to either something from the past, and not even just a relationship, but a foundation from the past that maybe needs to be let go of now. This could be something where maybe, I'm trying to think of some good examples here, but there could be something along the lines of either not maybe wanting to walk away from a certain level of experience or getting to a certain level within a career path. And yet there's something coming through saying that now is causing friction in your life and might be throwing something out of balance over here. This could be it could be a relationship. This could be something where maybe somebody's going through kind of a marital friction, or it could be something where a relationship from the past is causing issue here because maybe an inequality in something in a past relationship is kind of coming through now in this current relationship. But I'm really getting the feeling more than anything that it's really about reevaluating your foundations right now, reevaluating how far you've come, what you've given yourself kudos for, and also perhaps this could even be sometimes with the Six of Cups looking back to the past. There could be a level of nostalgia. This can actually be where we're kind of getting lost in the idea that everything was better when, where we're kind of sitting there lost in our emotions. And I mean, the Queen of Cups can be somebody who can get lost in her emotions. She's so concentrating on what she feels that she might be sitting here kind of in a place of, remember when it was better when. And that kind of living in the past might be preventing you from really having a chance now to jump into very quick moving energy over here that I think is going to kind of break through a level of maybe almost like spinning your wheels a little bit. And I'll get into that. Why am I saying that? Because we have the Eight of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. Now, the Eight of Wands is fast-moving energy. You can see it's like, woo, everything's happening all at once. It can also be fast communication. These can all be, this could be like a bunch of people sending emails and texts back and forth. But with the Two of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands, there's a sense here of there's a lot of stuff happening in your life right now, Virgo, and it's happening really quickly. But the Two of Pentacles is almost like there's like this spinning of the wheels as things are coming, like as these wands are flying by you. The Two of Pentacles is the juggling of our smaller day-to-day tasks. Now, generally, it asks us to make a choice, to choose one of those pentacles to actually prioritize so that it can continue to grow. And I think for some of you, there is that hesitation because you're sitting in this place with the Seven of Pentacles of like, should I or shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? And so you're just kind of like not making that decision and you're spinning your wheels. You're kind of just going through your day-to-day motions, I think waiting for something to happen. And what you're being asked to do, I think at this point, is to really say, you're almost going back, from the Seven of Pentacles to the Six of Pentacles. What is going to allow for balance? Or how is there a change in your circumstance now that might have happened either recently or it could have happened in the past few years where now you're seeing that things have very much changed in your day-to-day experience. And maybe at one point, again, you had always been out of the house working, and then you got a chance to work in the house and you became more integrated into your family's experience. And now suddenly you're being called out of the house again and you're realizing, well, that's not going to work for me because that doesn't work for the balance that I created for myself. That something has changed. And so now there's a realization of, okay, I do want to keep investing time in my family. So now I got to prioritize that pentacle. I got to prioritize my family, and I might now have to make a change. I might have to go back out there into the competitive world. That can be the Five of Wands competition. This can be even healthy competition where you're like, fine, I'm going to get back out there and I'm going to look for a new job where I get to work remotely. This could be where you say, you know what, fine, I'm going to release a relationship from the past, and I'm going to realize it's time to get it back out into the dating world, and I'm going to jump on a dating app. That could be the Eight of Wands, and I'm going to get out there and do it. And I'm going to prioritize building towards a relationship because that's what's going to bring balance into my life. There's a sense here, but with the star coming up, there's a bigger sense here of really having an eye to your dream. The star represents like the dream. It's that wish your heart makes for what you want to experience in your life. It's your guiding North Star. And there's a sense of that coming through very clearly here. And yet there's a tie to something in the past where I think perhaps either A, you're looking at it with rose-colored glasses and it's very hard to almost like pry your hands off of it a little bit, Virgo, where it's like, but I was always this way, or it was better when, or it was, I was great in that relationship with that person. And it's like, but I think now for many of you, it's you realizing what's in your cup is, but I really want that new relationship, or I really want to have a better connection with my family, or I want to level up in work in some aspect. And I have to realize that, yeah, I built this foundation with this company, but I have to get back out there now and I have to take care of my own needs. And once you kind of identify, I think, whatever this area is for you, this Five of Wands, where there is change coming in, where there can feel like it's a little friction, but it might be friction for self-growth. Once you realize that, and you identify kind of what you're holding on to from the past that might be changing now, and also change and affecting the balance of your physical experience, that once you kind of address that and realize, okay, what's going to help me answer, is it worth my time and energy to invest in this now, at this moment? And is it worth it for me to defend that choice, to defend the actions I want to take? You're going to realize how you're going to answer that question for yourself is, does it represent my star? is it part of my guiding principle in life? This could be like saying my guiding principle in life was always to become a parent, and I always wanted to be there for my kids and be integral in the raising of my children. And yet now you're being forced to maybe go back into the office, and you're realizing that's not part of my star. That's not part of my guiding principle, to be away from my house and only see my kids for 1 hour a day. Now, I'm not judging anybody who doesn't feel that way or doesn't have kids, or I'm just saying, using this as an example, that as to how to use a guiding principle, or again, that kind of dream in your heart for a bigger picture for your life experience, how you can use that to answer these questions. Because that's what's going to free you up to get in the mix to go. That's what's going to allow you to also see, to kind of just get out of the day-to-day. Okay, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that, and realize, what do I actually need to prioritize now to maintain the balance in my life experience? What feels like balance for me now? What do I need to prioritize that makes me feel like what I'm putting in, I'm getting back? And that there's a reciprocity there in my life experience. Okay, so now I'm going to pull some clarifiers, and we'll get a little deeper into this. But this could also be too, like, for instance, let's say put this in a relationship. This could be like you had moved in with someone from the past, and they came in and said, you know what, we're breaking up, I'm leaving you. And then suddenly you're put into this kind of tailspin of, well, wait a second, I bought this home, we bought all this furniture. This was, do I still want to keep this house? Do I still want to live here? Was it my dream to live in the suburbs? That kind of thing. And now you're looking at it, maybe reevaluating this, moving in with this individual from the past, and you're realizing, yeah, it does mean that I'm going to have to, maybe now keeping the house is creating more friction in your life than selling it. And you're realizing, okay, it's time to finally move on. It's time to finally get out there. 5 of Wands, freedom through change. I got to find that realtor. I got to look to see where I want to move. And then I got to do it. 8 of Wands. I got to communicate. I got to send that email. I got to get on my listings, and I got to prioritize moving. And suddenly things shift in your experience. But it can be something along those lines as well. So 4 of Wands, 3 of Swords, heartbreak and pain. This is the pain of the past. So there's a pain of the past that is really associated with, with a foundation from the past. Again, be this a job, be this a past relationship, or something like you moved in with someone. Now, 3 of Swords, 2 of Wands. 2 of Wands asks you to make a choice. It's asking you, where do you go from here? Can you choose another way? Can you choose to act in a new way? And I feel like for many of you, you're reevaluating the pain of the past associated with this 4 of Wands, and you're saying, yes, I can do it differently. I can choose to do something in a new way. I can go in a new direction. Let's see here. What's coming in for the 6 of Cups? And for some of you, it's actually walking away from heartbreak or walking away from pain. Okay, then we have the Tower. Yeah, the walls are coming down around something from the past because there's new inspiration. There's a realization there. I think there's a level of passion, a spark. For some of you, this could involve a child, very much so. This could involve the conception of a child where suddenly you're realizing, oh my gosh, that's my change in priority. But there could also be a spark of inspiration, a rekindling of your own inner spark, of your own eternal flame that is allowing you to almost like burn down the walls. When the Tower comes down, that means that there's a major life shift happening for yourself. And it could be around whatever happened in the past. This could be the news that, hey, I'm pregnant. And that's what brought down the wall, because you're learning that. You're realizing, wow, I can move away from past pain, or maybe, I didn't feel like I was good enough in a past relationship, or I didn't feel like I could have children in a past relationship, and suddenly here it all comes in. Now, this also could be simply that all of a sudden you're reconnecting to a new passion. You're reconnecting to your soul's fire, and that's what's bringing down the Tower of kind of being trapped in whatever this thing from the past was for you. That's what's showing you a new way. Now you have the Knight of Cups and the Page of Coins, which is beautiful. This is asking you, can you go out and be curious? Can you, Knight of Cups, hopeful, romantic. He is the individual who wants to go on the romantic quest. He has the rose-colored glasses on. He has hope. He has faith. And coupled with the Page of Coins is childlike energy around getting out there and through direct experience, gathering more information, really getting to have, it's almost like plucking something off of this bush that this individual's been growing and saying, you know what, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to see if someone can tell me what I can do with this a little better so that I can bring it back and maybe reinvest in a different way. Or this could be like saying, okay, I'm going to go back out there into the dating world and I'm going to do so with full faith that this time I'm going to get more information. I'm going to set up those dates. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to meet someone. This could be rose-colored glasses, going on the romantic quest of the new, job, the new calling in life. This could be a sense of saying, I'm liberating myself from a workplace that now just feels like a lot of friction and frustration and chaos that's ruining the balance of my life experience. And I'm going to go out there and see what else I can do. Maybe there's a new calling for me somewhere. Those are all examples of the Knight of Cups, Page of Coins. There's a sense of having hope and faith around going out there and kind of getting your hands dirty. So here's the Queen of Cups again and the Page of Swords with the Eight of Wands. The Queen of Cups again speaks to self-nurturing, that unconditional loving parent or mother. And Page of Swords is where we get to be curious, where we want to know the truth. We want to gather more information and gather a different perspective on something. So it's almost like you're trying to gather a perspective on what self-care looks like for you now, being curious. And that could come through, again, quick communication. You might actually be maybe communicating with somebody about, let's say you're trying to sell your house that you had from a previous relationship, and you're going back and forth with the realtor, and you're going out there to see homes, and you're trying to figure out where you want your next move to be to. And so you're gaining more awareness. You're questioning, well, what suits my needs now? What meets my dreams? What feels like self-care for where I am today? And that can also be too, for some of you, if let's say this is around becoming a parent, this could be kind of taking a step back and realizing, wow, a lot of movement has kind of pushed me in a direction to become a parent, or a lot of things have changed in my life because I am a parent. And now I'm trying to gain a bigger perspective on me being a parent. How do I want to love? How do I want to nurture? How do I also keep the balance where I feel nurtured at the same time? That can be a big deal for a new parent, for anyone who's in that boat. But there's a level of kind of taking a step back and being curious, especially if you're kind of stepping, anytime we leave, let's say, a workplace we've been in for a long time, a relationship we've been in for a long time, a place we've lived in for a long time, there's always going to be this kind of having to reevaluate, well, who am I now in this context? My needs might have been this years ago when I first got into that situation, but what are my needs now? What are my dreams? What is that guiding principle, that song in my heart that I want to go for? And finally, for the Two of Pentacles, yes, the Sun, true illumination. Love that. There's an illumination, yes, of truly what you want to prioritize, what you want to take out there into the world to start to see more growth in or of. And yet with the Seven of Swords coming up, there is an avoidance of this. When the Sun comes in, this is your soul with the spotlight saying, hey, hey, the answer is in your day-to-day experience. What feels out of balance and unsupportive in your day-to-day experience? And what do you have in your control and within your power to change? And yet there is an avoidance here of wanting to see that, wanting to do that, wanting to make that change. Now that can be sometimes because, again, we don't want to rock the boat. We've had something stable for so long in a specific way. And it's hard for us to say, I'm a different person, or I have different needs, or my dream might have changed. But the reality is, your soul is highlighting right here that if you don't face this, things are going to continue to get more and more chaotic, there's going to be more and more friction, and that balance that you had created the Six of Pentacles is going to get more and more out of balance. Like I'm kind of seeing that scene in my mind of, for any of you who are an 80s child like me, the scene from E.T., where he's, using telekinesis to kind of spin the balls up in the air, and they all kind of get out of whack and he gets distracted and they all kind of fly all over the place. So there's something like that here. It's almost like if you don't really pay attention now to what's being highlighted here, a focus of something that needs to change in your physical environment. Again, that's within your control, your choice, and what's going to help meet your needs. Things are going to get out of control, or out of whack real quickly. The sun can also speak to the illumination of the self, of your inner child, that part of yourself that truly, whatever that is that makes you feel like you can be this naked, innocent child just swinging in the full sunlight of the afternoon. There's something here around that maybe a reconnection to that part of yourself that just feels fun and like play. And maybe you're kind of hiding, there's like a sense of like, ooh, I got a chance to touch that, but no, I can't go there. Now at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Swords as your third underlying energy. And this is true pain of the past. This is going through a time where you might have felt like you were brought to your knees, or that was just very difficult. This can be going for a long period of time in the darkness or with pain. But it's also the wrap up of a cycle. The Ten of Swords says you've gone as far as you can go. There's no lower point than this, or no lower point than what you went through to get to a certain point in your life. And it's only up from here. Plus you survived it. And now what you get to take away from the Ten of Swords is the Ace of Swords, which is the truth of what you were able to survive going through that cycle where you went and felt like you were like this, it was overkill. So there's a sense of having now to say, I survived that, I went through it. What's the truth that I learned about myself in going through that time? And now what is the light that I see beckoning me forward? Okay, I'm going to pull a final card here for you guys, Virgo, before we wrap up your reading. The name of the game is self-care. Self-care for who you are today and your circumstances in the present moment. There's a sense of really releasing a tie to a past version of yourself, or a version of yourself that maybe you had for the future, but then again doesn't resonate with who you are in this moment. So there's a sense of really finding yourself now, understanding your needs in the moment, and really adapting your physical experience to fit your current dream, your current state of needs, and to really address that. Now, I love this for you. It says surrender low self-esteem. It says you deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. Beautiful. If you think you can't get back out there again and find a new job, if you think you can't get back out there again and find a new love of your life, if you think you can't sell that house and move into a new house, if you think you can't take time away from work to become more focused on your family or become a stay-at-home parent, this is saying whatever meets your needs, you are deserving of that. Everyone deserves success, love, and abundance. So any areas where you feel like you might be tied to pain of the past or the pain of a cycle that felt really defeating for you, it's saying you came through that. You're more powerful and much stronger because of that. But now you have a choice. There's a lot of choice in this reading, and a lot that's within your control, and a lot that's really going to be here to allow you again to nurture yourself and share your love with others, and also bring a level of peace and stability through kind of reorganization or rebalancing of your physical experience. All right, I'm going to actually just real quick, I'm going to just for the heck of it, I'm going to pull couple clarifiers just for the surrender low self-esteem card. Let's see why that's coming up here for you guys. What might be? Three of Swords might come up again, but sometimes just a double confirmation kind of helps. Four of Cups. Oh, interesting. That's really stating that for a lot of you, there's a level of emotional disconnection in your life experience, meaning that Four of Cups can speak to where we are just kind of feeling like blah about our life, where we're looking at all of the things kind of external to us, and yet we're forgetting about our own cup. This would be like looking at, that doesn't make me happy, that doesn't make me happy, that doesn't make me happy. And it's like, what are you actually like going after? What makes you happy? Instead of just kind of sitting and looking at everything in your life and being like, yeah, but this sucks. It's saying, well, wait a second, what would change all of these things external to you? It would be first you choosing to say, well, what is it that I'm not happy with? What am I missing in my life experience? What part of me feels disconnected on an emotional level from my star? The Four of Cups can also feel like you're kind of the outsider looking in. For some of you, you might feel like you maybe you felt like you were part of a community at some place, in your workplace, in your home life, in your actual community. And yet maybe because of a change in your life experience or a change in, again, something that happened in your life, maybe you feel now like you're kind of out on the outside of that looking in, or that community doesn't support you anymore. So keep that in mind. This could have been where you feel like there is a level of discontent in your life, and wherever that level of discontent is, it's time to get very clear as to why it's not emotionally fulfilling, and how can you change that? How can you make the choice, choosing to go in a different direction, choosing to walk away from past pain, and anything, again, that was wounding of the past that you feel has somehow changed your ability to see yourself as the strong, capable individual that you are. All right, I will leave it there, Virgo. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. If you would like to book your own personal reading to see what your soul most like you to know at this time, you can click on the link in the description box below. Otherwise, I will see you all in your next Soul Illumination reading. Bye, Virgo.